money. I didn't know you were popping up the recording there, Suzanne, but thank you.
Sorry about that.
So all good. So, it's an interesting time. I really think it depends on the level of applicant that you're looking for, that really changes the dynamic of how you're able to hire. If you're looking for a casual person, they're just casual players, and they're not significantly looking for anything other than a job that pays extraordinarily well. If you're looking for someone that is looking for a career, you've got to show them that path. And I know there's good operators on here. So that's what we've done. We have benefits programs, we have fast advancement and training and all of these other things for people that did come out of the workforce, whether of their own doing or not. I can tell you that in trying to find, middle management people, they're very apprehensive to look at our industry if they were in a restaurant company or something like that. There's, again, the stigma still exists. Forget the fact that we can pay them $10,000 to $20,000 more per year. They still can't comprehend that. So incentives have been great. We've got some new videos that we're putting out, the top 10 reasons why to work for our company and things like that. But, it's an unfortunate process that we're going through right now, I think, as retail companies far and wide are seeing. Just one quick thing. Yesterday, the CEO of Levi's came out and said that they have to match what Amazon is paying, which is now, increased their hourly wages to $20 per hour. So they've surpassed Starbucks, Target, Walmart, and it's an insane amount of money to pay people per hour that were, 3 years ago making 11 or 12 bucks.
Right.
That's
Steve,
insane.
you mentioned the videos. Where are you putting those videos? Are they on tunnel televisions? Are they on TV or YouTube or?
So we have some 55-inch screens at some of our locations, so we have them there. We're starting to put them on the TikTok platform. It seems that, a lot of people have left other social media platforms, and TikTok has the attention span of what most of the employees have, which is just a few seconds. We're putting them, we're going to get them up on LinkedIn and other things, because there is two levels of employee. We have, again, non-key holders, and then we have key holders. That's really what it comes down to. There is a benefit to being an express wash only company, as I don't need as many employees as a full service operator or a traditional style car wash. So, last year we opened up 5 locations in about 14 months, added roughly 42 employees, I believe it was, full-time employees. That's a lot easier than some of these other companies have been doing. But incentives work. A good work environment really works. And we try to put our employees first above our customers and ourselves. I know that sounds crazy, but it actually seems to work pretty well.
Right. Anthony, you're in the Capital District, along with us, and our market's brutal. What's your experience been like, and what are you guys trying to do?
So at Colonial Car Wash, it's been really tough. We managed to keep the doors open, throughout this. But we got down to, at our full service location, normally we have about 25 guys. We got all the way down to about 8 guys. People are working 7 days a week, no days off, long hours, 12 hours. We were doing everything we could just to, get by. We were going to high schools. We were talking to guidance counselors, gym coaches, just trying to get some good kids in there. And what we ended up doing is getting some guys from sports teams, and friend of friend. And if you lasted over 6 months, you get $250. So just little things, signs outside.
Tell me a little bit more about the high school reach out. How did that come about?
We made a poster. We gave it to the counselor, and they just posted it in school for us. Put our wages, what we offer, like 401k, health insurance, what kind of benefits we got. And we started getting phone calls. We tried Indeed. We didn't get too far with Indeed. just our normal online Colonial Car Wash. We didn't get too much from that either last few months.
So
It's
do
been
you
real.
think the poster in the high schools is what drove them to you?
That, yeah, we have really good kids now who are, you know, they appreciate the work. They come to work, they're happy. They're not expecting, you know, $20 an hour. They're happy with what they're getting, and you know, they're starting to turn around right now.
Okay. I'm just moving Suzanne's note. Okay. Is anybody doing anything other than the Indeed social media? We've heard the TikTok video. It's the first time I kind of thought about that, and the high school poster. From everybody else that's on the call, I guess, are you having similar experiences? And if so, what are you trying to kind of get people through the door?
Hey, Noah, could you unmute and talk about your reach out to recent parolees?
Yeah, that's been one of our sources. We've had a couple guys who've just come out, and there's a ton of people in halfway houses who have to get work so they don't go back in. That's one of the requirements to get reintegrated into the community. And Kate, you know, you're going to go through a bunch of guys who slip back, or they're on have a substance abuse issue. So oftentimes I'll be a little heavy to start in the morning, and I'll see who shows up, and go from there. So you do go through a lot, you shoot through a lot of people, but it is a source, but you know, it has its drawbacks. Some of these guys are real good, or gals, and not all men, and they're trying to restart their lives, and some of them are doing very well. I have one guy who's in you know, the shift manager who came through this, had a substance abuse issue, so he's moved up and he's brought some people in, and some of them have worked, and then some of them haven't. But it's to look at if you know, if you want to go that route, and you know, got your eyes open, that you know, they may not last. It's kind of a hit and miss. But if they're some people have real skills. They just have had that bad check in life, and they're restarting.
At Colonial, we've had a couple guys just start working for a week or two, and they've literally just told us that we wanted to just get on the book so we can go claim unemployment. Yeah, we've seen a lot of crazy things.
Well, the good news is they're going to start requiring that weekly or bi-weekly evidence that they've been looking for work, at least in some of the states we operate. And thank God that 300 is ending in September.
Yeah.
Because 1,200 a month for some people is enough to put them over the comfort edge of being okay, for sure. So I like the high school thing. We haven't had a lot of luck with the schools, but I do like the fact that you went out and did that.
Yeah, that's something different.
Sure is.
Yeah, and I think the personal outreach too is important. That you know, that makes a big difference. Let me ask unless anybody else in the group has something that they've tried that's worked well, or maybe something you tried that hasn't worked, so kind of save the rest of us the pain.
Indeed.
Share your pain.
Indeed. I will tell you that Indeed, Snag a Job, and all of those sites, personally, we're doing it in 4 states. I've spent more money through ad sites this year than I did the previous 3 years. And, we're 5 months in. So I would say, I think Anthony said the same thing, that Indeed really wasn't fruitful. It's a great platform. I just don't think, anybody can go anywhere down the street. They can walk within their community and get 10 jobs. So I don't know if anyone's actually looking online to get a job.
And like Dunkin' Donuts, Walmart, Target, they're starting these guys at, 17, 18. Normally we're starting at minimum wage, so it's a little bit harder for us to bring people.
Right.
Anthony, what are you guys doing at Colonial as far as working with your tips? Have you
So-
thought about doing something a
yeah.
little different with that to incentivize?
Um, the tips, the guys get their paycheck every Friday, and then the tip check is once a month. It's the first full week of every month. That's what we do at our full service location. At our exterior location, it's just a tunnel. The guys take it home that day. So as of right now, my boss hasn't said anything about changing that, but that's what we do.
Are
Oh,
any other guys doing anything different with your tips? Maybe, adding on top of what they get to kind of give them a little bit more of a boost?
No.
No.
We don't, tips are not a big part of our operational platform, but what we do is certain days of the week, if we're busy or something like that, we're buying lunch. I know that sounds like it's not a big deal, but it turns out it's a big deal. Many times I've had the managers, all my managers have credit cards, which is a godsend. But they're doing pizza and wings or sandwiches or something like that. They get it delivered, and they really enjoy that. It might cost us $100 or a little more, a little less, but it keeps the guys happy. I'm going to give you guys just some things to tell you that. I re-interview my employees all the time. What's working, what's not working. We have decent sized refrigerators and microwaves and Keurig machines. Water coolers, all of the things that sometimes seem ridiculous, but actually matter. If we don't have jugs of water, we have cases of water and Gatorade and things like that. We try to literally take care of the employee, so they don't need to run over to a Wawa or Cumberland Farms or wherever. They've got something there they can drink in the wintertime. We've got cases of ramen noodle. They can just heat up something quick and eat it. It doesn't cost them anything because we provide it. So that's where, I don't want to do everything for my employee, but I certainly don't want to have to replace them because the cost of replacing them time and money wise has become just ridiculous in onboarding and things like that. And I think if any of you guys have gone through, the changes that seem to be coming weekly from the labor departments, it's a challenge. So, I'd love to hear some great ideas as well. Anybody out there that's an operator, if something's working, share it with us. I don't know if I'm an expert, and I've been around a long time, but I certainly learn from other people.
Yeah, I like the idea of, some of the things that you threw out there. I think it's really breaks down into two pieces. The first part is getting them there, and finding, those pockets of employees. And it sounds like Anthony's done a good job with reaching out to the high schools and the retention bonuses. And then, once you get them there, it's keeping them there. And I think, Steve, you mentioned a lot of good ideas to help maintain that connection. Within the last probably 2 years, we actually instituted a new position at our location, in our larger locations as store trainers. And really their job is to be a brand ambassador for us. So they are the first person that employee sees when they show up on the property. They know about them, they review their resume. They basically are their big brother or big sister for the first few days. We send a survey every month to our new employees asking them, how are we doing? Do you have the training that you need? Does somebody meet you? Do you feel welcome? Do you know who to ask if you have questions? Again, to try and tighten up that connection. Getting them is hard, keeping them is harder. And we're doing everything that we can from that standpoint, we think, and hopefully we can do more to keep them around and keep them engaged. And I think a big part of it is just that relationship, having them connect with people at the location, people at the stores, feeling like they're contributing and making part, they're part of something a little bit bigger. I think that's been something we've worked really hard at doing. I think we're getting better at it. I speak to our trainers every couple of days. We have a full conference call with them every 2 weeks where we touch base on how the training is going, how their employees are doing. But it's a fight every day. It's a fight every day.
Yeah.
I'm curious, the rest of folks on the panel, what have you been doing, or what have you changed doing to try and help bolster your retention? Because I think we're all in the same boat trying to find out. It's hard.
Let me just jump in there for a sec before we go to that question, Walt, because you guys are a huge force. You have 700 plus employees, but you could also do that exact same thing at Colonial, empowering the general manager to do that same thing once a week with employees. You don't have to be a big entity with a whole division,
Actually,
accomplish
Suzanne,
what
I
you
think
accomplished.
Suzanne, actually, I think it's easier when you have a smaller crew. We found that the retention in some of our express exteriors with smaller groups of people is actually higher because there's that camaraderie, there's that teamwork. When you get into larger teams, it becomes more and more challenging to continue to have those, those kind of one-on-one relationships. And it's hard, and you got to really put effort at it. You got to work at it.
I would like to
Great.
add something. The previous years, my boss, Dave Fusco, he would always send us to the Mets game. A lot of the time there'd be guys fighting, I want to go. Usually we get around 10 tickets. This year I had about 4 guys I knew for sure who were going to go. And then every other day, since guys are coming and going, we're trying to fill a spot. Oh, somebody's coming, somebody's leaving. And, it just sucks to be able to send somebody to a Mets game and then, they leave 2 weeks later. It's tough.
That's a real challenge. And I think that, the workforce, again, I think Mary Ellen hit it on the head. It's the casual employee that, those part-timers, they're hard to get because again, they'll leave for a couple bucks extra. But I think the challenge, go ahead, Mary Ellen.
No, I was going to say the other thing that I think impacts the part-time casual worker that we're talking about is the increase over the last year of the gig economy and the gig jobs. So the DoorDashes, the delivery and all the stuff that, there was some of that prior to COVID, but it's a huge industry now and people can make a lot of money and they work when they want to work and they don't have to, have all the rules that we have and things like that. So I think we've seen a lot of people who just say, well, screw this. I don't want to follow all the stuff you guys have here. I can make more money. I'll just go deliver food. I'll Uber or whatever. So the gig economy is certainly, I think, impacting the type of employees or a lot of the types of employees we try to recruit.
Absolutely. I got to tell you something. I've got 2 sites under development and, I've committed X amount of resources to eliminate more people. And I'm going to try and run, a 300,000 car location with just a handful of people. So that's the goal. We've tasked some of the equipment companies to just work with us on developing the systems to let customers basically do everything on their own. And, the site manager, for whatever title they'll have, is just going to sit in a room with, windows all the way around at the console and just watch everything going on. And instead of having the nuclear button, just has the big e-stop button if something's going sideways to just stop it. But it's an unfortunate reality. Mary, I think you're right. I mean, we wash DoorDash and Uber cars more frequently than we want to, right? They're in every single day. Redemption rates have gone up on the subscription plans. It's hard to tell who these people are that are doing these gig jobs, but they wash their cars a lot. So we're going to eliminate the need for more people because I just don't think there's more people coming. Once Amazon automates everything like we want to, then there'll be a couple million people looking for jobs.
Right.
But that's not going to happen soon enough. The other thing is that, we try to do is we pay more wherever we can. And I know that that's not an easy thing to swallow, but there is a difference in $5,000 or $10,000 on a management level employee. And it depends again on your market where you're at. And certainly, cost of the economy is different in different places. But, in Florida where it's, always we're told it's less expensive to live. It's not. A gallon of milk in Florida costs more than it does up here. Fuel costs the same, things like that. Managers are making $50,000+ per year. They're not making $35,000 or $40,000. they are working at other companies like Advanced Auto Parts and things like that. So we've gone after those types of managers that have a skill set that aligns with the things that we do, that have knowledge, that can talk to customers about a broken wiper or something stupid that's happened that you all know happened at the car wash. It couldn't have happened anywhere else but the car wash. But they have a skill set that relates to what we do, and we can pay them better, and we can give them a better career path, in a place to move forward, in a flexible schedule where they might be inflexible and underpaid. I'm going back to my days with, dare I say, Wash Depot, when we used to have the Caught in the Act cards. I have business cards that, if I go somewhere and somebody's outstanding, I hand them a card with a phone number on it, that there's an opportunity, I'd like to talk to you about it. I hate stealing people from other businesses. It's the last vestige of what I'd want to do to people, but it's eat or be eaten right now. So
I've
you've
seen
got
it.
to
A
pull out
lot.
all the stops.
I've seen that a lot lately. I've
Yeah.
lost a few guys just to, right next door.
Yeah, I don't go to other car washes. I can tell you that much, because I wouldn't want to do that. I don't want it done to me. But if you're working at Advanced Auto Parts or O'Reilly's, and I bought a bottle of wax from you just so I could throw it away and see if there was somebody there worthwhile, I might try and steal you.
You got to do it.
Yeah, that's tough. Well, Steve, I think you're right. The market is getting tougher, and I think you're going to start to see more of that automation process, which is really unfortunate because, as we all know, and I think all of us would agree, we like to promote from within. I mean, we like to bring people up through the ranks and watch them develop and grow and get opportunities for management and even further. But the more we automate, which is a necessity, the less opportunity are going to be out there for those young, hungry people that hopefully someday want to be, make this a career. And that becomes less challenging. Noah, did you have something there?
No, I didn't have anything.
Oh, okay. So I just kind of froze up. It looked like you were in the middle of a sentence. All right. So I guess I'll open it up to the rest of the audience here. What have you tried, haven't tried? What questions do you have about what might work, what might not work? I like the ramen noodle idea in the winter. I think that's a good one. I hadn't thought of that. I'm going to write that one down for sure.
Hey, Walt, it's all about the food. Come on.
It is about the food.
It is.
All about the food.
And the older I get, the more I realize that.
I got to tell you, we have the Jif peanut butter cups, hot chocolate. You order the stuff from Costco, it's cheap, or BJ's, whoever's around you. And it's like $150 a month.
Right.
It's cheap. I hate to say it. It's cheap. So we do it because we think it works. And we'll prove the result this year if everybody basically stays. I've only lost 2 people to other companies so far this year,
So
thankfully.
Steve, when you've circled back to your employees and asked them, when you've re-interviewed them, what are they saying? What's their feedback to you?
So, it's different. Sometimes they don't like the way the manager talks to them. Some of these younger people, they just, they're thin-skinned. They're easily overwhelmed. They're easily everything. We know the words.
We lost Steve.
Oh no, Steve.
Okay.
We lost him.
Steve, we lost you. Darn it.
Hopefully he
He probably went to get some more Roman noodles.
Ramen.
Ramen Roman, same thing.
I'm okay with that.
I wonder what I can do. Anybody have any ideas how we can get him back?
He'll probably relog in.
Yeah, I think that's an awesome idea, circling back to your employees and asking them. I mean, Steve makes some good points about kind of the generation that we're dealing with right now, but
It is a lot tougher nowadays. I feel like, I can't, just ask somebody, hey, go do this, do it right now. You got to be like, hey, how's your day going? Or you got to break it into them, or else they feel offended. And then, next thing you know, they're out the door. So nowadays I feel like, I watch the way I talk to the guys a little bit, and it sucks because I just want to get right to the point. Like, hey, this needs to get done, but people just take offense to it.
Mhm.
And it's not going to be rude or mean to the person. It's tough.
I think, it's interesting. I think every generation says that about the generation coming up behind them. I don't want to say like I'm turning into that guy. I'm like, hey, I'm that old guy, kid, get off my grass guy. But I'm turning into that a little bit. Some of you guys are laughing because you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I think, I think every generation has its thing. And I think part of it is really, it's up to us as leaders and managers to evaluate that and to adapt, if you will. And I think sometimes that means doing things differently than we've done them before. I've spent a lot of time looking at and researching and reading about, the next generation, the millennial generation. And one of the things that I keep coming back to is they are starving for feedback. And it's not positive or negative, it's just feedback. Because they've always been, things have always been out there and they've always been part of it. And there's always been part of, even like the sports teams that I coach. Actually, a few minutes late to this because I was on a call with our high school sports team I'm going to be coaching this summer. And, they want feedback. And in the old days where you could say, hey, do this, and you did this wrong, you can't deliver it the same way. You can deliver the message, you have to be sure about how you deliver it. And I think the better job we do of that, and we feed their desire and their need for that feedback, I think we have an opportunity to hopefully create those relationships, which are incredibly important to them. This generation is they're about their causes. They are not as driven by the material things. They like nice things, but they're not as driven. They're more, their social awareness is really forefront. So we spend a lot of time, particularly with our new managers, talking about the things we do as a company. We talk a lot about the communities that we serve and the way we give back to try and help create a little bit of that relationship. And I don't think that's one of those things that you see an impact overnight. I think it takes time to develop that kind of cultural shift. So, hey, Steve, you're back. We missed you there. You were in the middle of your sentence and you froze up on us.
Yeah, sorry.
Finish off your thought.
There was some thunder and lightning rumbling through, and I guess I got kicked out. I know the bills paid, so it had to be something else. I forgot where the hell I was at, to be honest with you, in my thought process. When you get to be as old as I am, from being around as long as I've been around, we forget things. But I was just saying, in dealing with the employees, we want to fix the bad. We want to reward the good. Hear about what's going on. We try to have some sense of their personal life to some degree, not because I want to exploit anything with that, but we want to know what's important to them and the things that are affecting them, and try and guide the employee. Like I said, a father, a brother, an uncle, a therapist, God knows whatever is going to work. But that's important. And I think I've learned over the years, as most of us have in being around, that, it doesn't take a lot of effort to go out and make sure that your employees and the people that are around you are comfortable with what they're doing. It takes an extraordinary amount of effort to do what we're dealing with right now, and that's trying to hire people. So we try to head that off as best that we can. I don't know if we're great at it, but we certainly try every day, and we learn a lot of things about our employees and try to help them. And I have a story I'll just share with you guys. I bought a car wash a few years ago. A couple of employees took them out for lunch. They asked me when we were firing them. I looked at them and I said, "Excuse me, why would we fire you?" "Well, that's what happened the last time this place got bought." And I said, "Well, you know everything about this place and I don't really know anything about it. And I think that that's a really stupid play." Fast forward 3 years later, one of the people that was working for me, making $8.25 an hour plus tips, is making an incredible salary, running one of my most beautiful and busy and most profitable locations, drives a Mercedes, and has made his family super proud. And he did that. All we did was give him the tools. And he just kept excelling and got in the left lane and just, punched it and kept going. And that's an
awesome.
incredible
Good for
story.
him.
And we have some other ones like that, but, that stands out. His family, they're from out of the country. They immigrated. He's still waiting for certain things to come in. He's here with all the right stuff. But, he'll be a citizen and we're going to sponsor that for him. So, I don't know if he'll ever work for anybody else. I hope not, because I want to take him all the way. But those are the things that we as an industry aren't great at, frankly. We don't explain to people what this industry is. Everybody on this call knows. We have fun. We make some money. We love what we do. And there's people in my own family that still look at me and think I'm insane. Like, what, you wash cars? I wash cars. I tell them all the time. I'm out there washing cars all the time. I haven't washed a car in years. I just press buttons. And that's, what we do. So, yeah, I love it. And we just have to, maybe with the vaccines, we can start injecting some real knowledge about what we do and why it's fun to do what we do.
Steve, I think one of the things you were talking about that and talking about, maintaining your current employees. And again, I think this is a two-part problem. The first part's getting there. The second part is keeping them there. And
Sure.
I mean, what's the old saying, the best offense is a good defense.
Right.
And I think saving the ones you have and investing in the ones that you have is in the long run, is powerful. And, your story about the employee that you have is, I'd like to think we all have a couple of those. I wish we had a couple more. But the challenging part is getting them through the door right now anyway, seems to be. Let me ask everybody out there, when do you see, or what do you see that needs to happen in order for us to get to a position where, we have a choice of who to hire as opposed to we're just hoping to hire somebody? What do you think will need to happen in order for that to change? And will it change?
I think
They got-
there needs to be a baby boom, because one of the problems is just there's less people in the current generation that we're trying to hire. So that's the first problem. Again, some of the things that we've talked about, there's just different industries, like the world is just different. I think the pandemic has made people reevaluate what's important to them, and some people have gotten out of the workforce. Some people, again, not necessarily that we want to hire for car wash front positions, but want to work remote. So it's given people a different idea about that. So I don't know. I think it's going to continue. I think unemployment was low pre-pandemic, and all these other things just made it a lot worse. So although I know we have a little glimmer, and I think we're all a little hopeful that in the fall it gets better, I don't know. I'm not super, super hopeful. I think it's going to continue to be a struggle. We're going to have to all continue to implement things to be better and better employers, to be places people want to come to work and differentiate ourselves. As Steve said, to let people recognize what a good place we are to work and what we do for people.
Mary Ellen, you and I have talked about this, but what kinds of things do you think, would really make an operator stand out versus the Cumberland Farms, the Wawas, the other retail stores that would make them want to consider us being the place of employment?
Well, I think there are some things that you just have to be on an even playing field. So obviously you have to pay, you might not have to pay exactly what everybody else pays, but you got to be pretty close on that. I think everybody wants to work in a place, where they feel good about working, where they're treated well. I can only speak about our workforce, but we have a lot of people who don't have families, who don't have family connections, who don't have, they haven't come from great places, and they don't have great places to go home to. So if they can come into a place where they feel like, hey, they matter to somebody and they're important, and in Steve's case, they feed them, which is great because we have people that need that too. I think those are the things that might, you have to be a good employer. You have to be a place where people want to come to work.
Agreed. I got to share two things with you guys. And I'm fortunate because when I started this company with my partner 3.5 years ago, and I told him how crazy I am and how crazy he was to even think about being in this business. having not been in it. It's been a pretty good match, but he's allowed me to do some things that are kind of wacky. But the first thing is, when I was talking about the videos earlier, we're going to try and shoot one in a couple of weeks, and we're going to make fun of the other jobs. Not that, we think that flipping burgers is a bad job, but we think it's a crappy job. Being in a Burger King in front of a broiler that's 500 degrees and you're feeding meat patties and you've got to, to me, that's a crappy job. So we're going to actually poke fun at some of these other industries, guys walking lawnmowers, things like that, and show them what we do, how we just press a touchscreen and send a vehicle and do things like that. So we're going to just have some fun and trying to see if, we can. I don't know if I want anybody from Starbucks, but I certainly would take somebody from Cumberland Farms or Wawa or one of those other companies. And then the second thing is we do some trick marketing stuff. So I was fortunate to get my 2020 Corvette last fall. It gets rarer by the minute because they're not building very many. It's our blue, it's graphicked up, it's cool. My managers love when it's at their property. It's a marketing tool. They get to talk about it. They get to take it to car shows and events, fundraisers and things like that. So not everything is motivated by just money. It's about being a part of something a little bit bigger and better. So that's been fun. We've got a new vehicle I'll be launching pretty soon. But it's about everything that you can do as a company. And again, we're not all the same type of company. We don't all have the same resources and things, but we do have the community of car washers that we can lean on. And I always hope, and I've said this to Suzanne, between all the different associations, I don't ever know if it's going to be perfect in the car wash community because nobody ever wants to share their best ideas. But I think that's the thing that sort of holds back the industry more than anything. Is not sharing ideas and things that are going on, just because somebody thinks they're going to steal it from you. I would venture a guess that 100% of car wash operators have stolen ideas from other car wash operators.
Ding, ding, ding.
We steal everything from Hoffman, so.
Steve, you gotta slow down. I can't write that fast, okay? So I'm glad Suzanne's
I'm
recording this.
glad I'm recording this, but I can never figure out how to get the recording, from the cloud.
That's all right.
I'm going to have to help with that. That everything you just said is amazing, and everybody on this call again can do that stuff. But the key, like you said, is making your employees feel like it's their business too, right? They need to feel like whatever they do reflects on, the company, but also on them. It's them. They need to be able to take pride in what they do.
Yeah, and listen, we're not perfect. I mean, I've had people last year walk off the job that we paid right through, COVID, whether PPP came out or not. We decided on March 18th of last year to pay our employees straight through. That was just an internal decision because we didn't know what the hell was going to happen. And we didn't want our employees leaving because I lose 5 employees, I'm locking my doors. We don't have that opportunity. So it's just, again, trying to do the right thing. We've had people leave, ugly ways because they didn't like something. And you can't give them everything, but you try and give them the basic stuff. And again, just, my new car wash in New Jersey was a year old on May 28th. I couldn't get there. May 28th was a Friday. But I went down on the 26th and I brought a birthday cake and a bunch of cupcakes and a big card, and I presented it to my team. And, they laughed their asses off and they took pictures and I sent it out to the entire group of people in our company. And they got their congratulations messages, texted back to them and stuff. And I know that sounds kind of hokey. They loved it. We do the same thing with birthdays. I do it at 7:00 in the morning so that they get all their messages, while they're either setting up or getting over to the facility. So we just try to have some fun with the employees, sometimes laugh at ourselves, but it's easy. That part of it's easy. The hard part, everybody is going to say it, is getting them in the door to come and work for you. The rest of it's easy. Just have to do it.
There's one point, this is Noah. Listen, there's one point I just wanted, I'm sure everyone's doing it, but it's come to my attention the last couple of weeks. When we get new people in, if they're not working, we got to get rid of them right away. Everybody's sharing the tips. And if they feel like someone's not carrying the weight, the whole crew starts to grumble. So that is something that I've become keenly aware of recently. And I just wanted to put it out there. You bring them in, even though you're desperate to have people. If they're not good, know that. Try to figure it out first and just as soon as possible. And it's not going to work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're right. And I just had that conversation today with a couple of our trainers about, the panic hiring. And you put a name on the schedule, but does that really solve your problem?
You got to cancel. One bad guy turns 5 guys bad.
Right. So, you have that panic hire and yeah, I put a name on the schedule. But then a week and a half later, you're trying to replace 4 because, like you said, it becomes terminal and that becomes a real problem. And I know it's difficult to avoid that, particularly when, you're short staffed and you have somebody that walks in and like, well, maybe he'll be okay. Or maybe she'll be better than what I think she's going to be. That's tough. That's tough. It's a hard thing to try to avoid, particularly now when we're all, I think every single one of us could hire, 4 or 5 people right now and still could probably hire more than that.
Well-
Is Todd Baywright still on the call?
His mugshot is.
I'd love to hear what Foam and Wash is doing.
I see his picture.
Hi, this is Michelle.
Michelle?
How are you? I work for Foam and Wash.
Okay, you're Todd Baywright.
Oh, I am? Okay. So actually Gary shared this whole information with me. I am the finance director and overseeing HR as well. And we are having tremendous challenges trying to hire and such. So hearing, really what everyone is going through, it's similar to where we are. We actually work with an outsourced HR locally that does some recruiting work for us. So we've been partnering with them and using similar platforms like Indeed, Snag-a-Job, Craigslist, Hudson Valley Help Wanted. Honestly, what we're facing is we're getting candidates, we're setting up appointments, but then there are no shows. And
Yep.
Is it they're checking off their bucket list to unemployment that, yes, I applied for a job, see, and then they
Yeah.
don't show, which is a huge drain in resources. So some of the other things, obviously posting on social media platforms. I love the TikTok idea. And I love the video idea too, on why come work for us. Signage, at our locations. We're doing that. Just recently, I had talked about maybe doing, like a on-the-job career fair, at various locations, posting it, whether it's the same day every week for like an hour or 2. Those are kind of the ideas really that we're trying to work with right now.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thanks, Michelle. Todd Baywright here from
Oh,
Foam and Wash Car Washes.
Oh, Todd is-
Sorry, Todd. I didn't know you were on.
She's so much better than me anyway.
I agree, Todd.
Thanks, buddy.
Probably better looking. No, just kidding. I'm
I did miss the 15 minutes. Did anyone talk about referral bonuses? And if they're obviously all of this is a numbers game. Referral bonus, we did increase ours to 200. I'm not sure that every one of we have about 100 associates. So I'm not sure that every one of them yet knows about the $200 referral bonus. And maybe it should be more money because what the hell? In the past, we've certainly found a lot of our best employees through our current employees. So now I'm just, as I'm saying that, I'm thinking maybe it should be more than 200. It's a 90-day deal. So
Yeah.
if Bob suggested Johnny, we record that fact that the current employee Bob suggested Johnny, and when Johnny's here 90 days, the $200 goes to our associate that did the referral. But maybe that should be more, a little more outstanding. We do, I can tell you a whole lot of things that are not working that we think should be working, that would normally work. Of course, the hiring bonuses. A lot of our jobs are the most important critical ones. We've got hiring bonuses attached to them. Yeah, what else are we doing, Paul? Anything else exciting? Of course, signage is so important, right? And I would love to, sometime we have balloons near them, but signage out by the road and signs at the doors. And doesn't Stewart's do a great job? You pull in the driveway and there's a sign out by the driveway, and then you sit in front of the pump and there's a sign at the pump that tells you, God, I didn't know they had so many. You can do lunches, or you can choose a lunch person, a breakfast person, an ice cream person, or a dinner person. I thought, what the heck are they talking about? There's dinner at Stewart's, of course. But anyway, they do a great job on signage. And then as I paid at Stewart's, what am I literally laying my money down on are applications, right? They're right at the counter. So kudos to Stewart's. And that's all for me right now.
Thanks, Todd.
Nice.
Hire faster is a big note that I just wrote down. Hire faster. We had a meeting yesterday, and we are a couple of us like me are concerned that maybe this outsourcing company is taking an extra 24 hours. And wouldn't that be awful? Because, right, Johnny applied to our job and 10 others. And if I took 24 hours, or my God forbid, 48 hours to actually get back to Johnny and attempt to hire him, well, there are a couple other companies that beat me to Johnny, right now in this environment. So I especially am a little concerned that our hiring company is adding even a day. I think even hours literally in this market might make a difference. And is anybody hiring? I know you guys talked about, I heard you talk about, yes, we don't want to hire dead wood, but let's face it, on an interview, a good phone interview, yes, you didn't see the person face to face, you didn't look in their eyes, but if you've got the right question and the right background and the right skills, I think you can probably do a pretty good job of maybe saying, hey, this person is somebody I think I'd like to have on my team, right? I mean, we really hire for attitude anyway, right? So if you ask them the right questions, you have the right conversation. Oh, one question we love, I'll just share with everyone, and my boys at G&G kind of grabbed this from one of their hires, one of their guys. What are your 3 favorite smells? And is that a fun question or what? I mean, we just love it. We just love it. It just opens things up, and it makes things a little more casual, a little more fun. And we have, of course, there's no wrong answer, but what are your 3 favorite smells? We love that question. Back to what was I saying? Hiring faster is one of my biggest notes from, I don't know if anyone ever really mentioned it tonight, but hire faster, because damn it, somebody else beats you to Johnny and you miss Johnny.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
Anyway, that's me for now.
Todd, Chris
Awesome.
Kubark here. I agree with the hiring faster. But the one thing we kind of stick with the face interview just because we want to see if a person will actually show up.
Yep.
Yeah.
That seems to be because we've had a ton of Indeed scheduled interviews, and people, they just don't show up. They blow it off completely.
I've had a stack about twice the size of this, and I've had maybe 7 people show up.
Damn.
Are you guys
You know what
making
the
sure?
challenging- Yeah,
I
so
called,
one of the challenging things we have, Anthony, and I'm sure you'll appreciate this, is our recruiters, Katie, Nancy, and Lindsay will do a great job screening them, getting them all set up. They go to the interview, we hire them, they start the new hire paperwork, and then
Oh,
they
really?
never come back. And they don't come back. Like
another
they
thing.
get
We're
into the
filling out
process,
big
they got the job,
packets.
they don't show up.
Yeah, we're filling out packets, adding them into the system. Then it's a job getting them out of the system. You know, it's awful. It's a lot of work, paperwork, time.
So we have about 3 or 4 more minutes, right, Suzanne? Is that where we are? Are we going to half hour?
Correcto.
Okay. So I have one other question for the group, and I don't know if anybody's doing this, and I just started thinking about it as you were talking about different opportunities. We just recently partnered with a social media influencer. I don't know if you guys have seen this, heard of this. We actually sort of found her by accident. She went through one of our locations and posted a video about it. And we did a little research on who this person was. And apparently they have a ton of followers. And you know, I don't get the whole social media influencing thing, but apparently it's a thing. There I am being old again. And we're, I don't know if that's an opportunity to have a social media influencer. Again, the people that are looking at these social media influencers are generally our younger population of employees that we may, we're trying to reach. Has anybody done anything like that? Tried anything unusual like that? Again, I'm just spitballing here.
So Walt, she just started with you guys, right?
Yeah.
What did
Wait.
she do? She was like, she had a Facebook or something. What did she do to influence? She just posted your guys's, Hoffman
she-
I mean,
for
she-
employees.
Mary Ellen could probably address it.
Yeah, she's actually, I mean, they're a social media company in the Albany Capital District area. So she's not like, I mean, there are a lot of like individual social influencers out there who, are on Instagram or YouTube or anything like that, but they're like, official. Anthony, it's Two Buttons Deep. You might have heard of them if you're in Albany.
No,
area.
no, I
Maybe not.
haven't actually.
Anyway.
Not yet.
So they kind of like do like a lot of stuff about the Capital District. They have blogs, vlogs and blogs. And I think we approached her to see if she would do that. So she does Wash Wednesdays where she drives through the car wash now. She kind of like narrates stuff and then it goes out to their like kind of hip and cool group. We haven't
Nice.
really used it for trying to find employees yet, but that is, we're talking to our marketing group about trying to do that. And again, I guess it's about trying to appeal to, people who that's what
Yeah.
they spend a lot of time on. They spend time on their phones and on their iPads, and they're watching vlogs and things like that, words that we're all
What's
like,
blog?
a vlog is a video blog.
Sorry.
I know. So we'll let
It's a
you
guy
guys,
from Russia.
yeah, know how that goes. One thing I wanted to mention, actually, in addition, when Todd was talking about how to be quicker, is one thing that we started a couple of years ago, which we might have talked about previously, was we have a texting application and we text all the applicants to try to, so as soon as people apply, they get an automated text to them, which really we've been able to automate it. It asks screening questions and it sets.
Oh, that's good.
It just makes it really shortcuts because literally nobody in the world answers their cell phones anymore.
No.
I do.
Many of you will remember, obviously. Me.
Is that right from
Yeah,
your? Is
But
that
most
is that
people
how-
don't answer their cell phone, and people are just out there on these social, or on these sites, job boards, clicking on every job there is for whatever reason. So you call, they're not going to answer but they will potentially answer a text, and that has shortened up our process as well.
And
Now, is it-
Mary Ellen, what's the name? It's called Canvas, right? That software program?
I think it's called Job right now. They I don't
Okay.
know, merged or something, but
But
Yeah.
that's something we did. Mary Ellen's right. And that's been a huge time saver. And
Yeah.
it's amazing how the reaction you get. I mean, text somebody and they almost text it right back.
But
So-
we also video interview too. So you could do that. We have a platform we work with to do video interviewing, which we did pre-pandemic, and then it worked great for us pandemic. But you can even do that if you just do FaceTime or something like that. But a funny thing is when somebody said, well, we like to have them come in for interviews, is we have people that actually don't show up for their video interviews, which is really even sort of funnier
More
and a
bizarre.
bad.
That's par for the course.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, where are you going to be posting your videos?
They'll be in different places. We could go on LinkedIn. We're trying to figure out how to get it on Indeed, even though Indeed drives me crazy. One of my employees loves Indeed. By the way, on Indeed, if an employee doesn't show up, we always slam them because they didn't show up. We use that feature on our account. TikTok, things like that. So just social media, Facebook. We have a total of 10 videos. I think I have 4 or 5 in my computer now. They're all similar, but a little bit different. I was going to share one, but nobody responded.
I think we're unfortunately, Steve,
Yeah.
if you want to maybe
I'll
send
email
it
it
to
out.
Suzanne,
Yep.
maybe we can share them because now she has a link of everybody that's got it here. She might be able to do that, but we're coming up to our
Yep.
hard stop time. But so again, I think this was great. I appreciate everybody's time in spending a couple of minutes with us this afternoon to talk about a problem that we're all facing. And I think my takeaways are, a good offense is a better defense, and reaching out and maintaining the people that you have currently. And again, we all know it's easier to keep them than to get them, but we have to get them all. And I think we've got some good ideas about ways to reach out and hopefully attract some more people to our stores and our industry. Listen, guys, this was great. I really appreciate your time. Suzanne, I'll help you figure out how to get this out of the cloud and into your computer.
Love you.
Try and figure that out.
Yeah.
Walt,
Guys, again,
Walt, one
thank you very
question.
much. It's a great exchange. I really
Hey, Walt.
appreciate it. And hopefully we can
Walt, one
get
question.
together, do it again.
Thanks, Walt.
Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, hey, Walt, one question. Could you guys
Yes, sir.
recap all this with notes and share it?
Well, I'm going to
Like
help
highlights?
Suzanne figure out how to get it out of the cloud. And I'm sure that she's got plenty of notes that we might be able to
Yeah,
put
I
together.
just missed the
So-
first 15 and you're going to record this anyway, so I could watch it and catch the
Yep.
first. Yeah, I wouuld mind sharing my notes also, but, okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Well, that's
guys.
good, because we
This
spent
is
the
everyone.
first 15 minutes talking about you, Todd. So,
Yeah, right. Thanks.
Take it easy.
Bye, Walt.
all right, guys. Thanks
Bye.
again, panelists. Thanks, guys.
Take
Panelists,
care.
you were
Thank you.
awesome.
Good
Thanks,
stuff, guys.
everybody.
Goodbye, Amanda.
See you later, Walt. Take care, brother.
Take care, guys. Thanks.